everyone, it's Wanda with the Armchair Cat Advocate. I wanted to do a video, which was, well, I was planning on doing this anyway, but it's also been requested by some of my longtime subscribers, Mark in particular, talking about the next steps in the journey of the kittens, and because tomorrow the foster kittens are moving out of here. So I want to talk about that a little bit, but before I have some news on Nika, aka Tulip, who is their mother, and also just about fostering in general. So before I get started, and here I will look, the little beasties are out. This is Diaval. So the little beasties are out, and you'll hear crashing and clanging and banging and Lord knows what else they're doing. So it just went boop, boop. Yeah, they're out. They're going nuts. I don't know if you can see Rogue. Rogue's back here on the... Boo's just kind of trying to get away from the kittens, and Rogue, there's Rogue. Rogue's back on the table. He's doing the Bubba Boo kitty roll. His nickname's Bubba Boo. So we got Mr. Boo and Bubba Boo. So Bubba Boo kitty, he's my Bubba Boo kitty. He has his own song too. Maybe I'll sing it for you a little later. So Roguester's back there on the table, hanging out. Poor Boo, he's like trying to avoid the kitten chaos. Abra was just done. She went to the door and said, I'm going outside now. Tor is like, I'm done. He went outside. Everybody else is in the back, in my bedroom, up on the tower, trying to avoid kitten chaos. So, so welcome to kitten chaos. We have our friend Jack over here. I'll show everybody Jack. So here's the croaky boy, Jack. Hi, Jack. You want to say hi to everybody? Say hi, Jack. Say hi, everybody. Say hello to your adoring fans. He says, I have fans? You have fans, Jack. A lot of people are rooting for you. I know, buddy. I know. He's got an affection for the kicker there. He found that laying under something, and he was holding it and playing with it. So I said, you can have it. I mean, none of the other cats bother with it, and he seems to enjoy laying on it and holding it and scratching at it. So there's our Jack, and there's our Roguester Pie, Mr. Rogue. He's like, yeah, I'm unbothered. And the kittens are all over the place. So they knocked over the Nature's Miracle, and it leaked a little bit. It never ends. So before we get started, there's two things that I want to mention. So the one thing that I want to mention is I have seen an increase in subs lately. Like, really nice increase. Not crazy, like not crazy blowing up channel type of activity, but there's been, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to know. It's their last night. They can just party. They can party till they drop, because tomorrow I'm free. I'm free again. Free, I tell you. Yes, I'm free from you little beasties tomorrow. So, two things. So the subscribers have gone up. Like I said, not crazy, but I have at least 20 or so within the last couple of days. Maleficent's at my feet now, playing with, what do you got there? Oh, she's got her spring. Okay. yeah, we've gone up like 20 or so the last couple of days, which is really nice to see. And honestly, I would rather the channel grow slow but steady, because it is easier for me to manage as really the only person here right now. I do have another manager, my friend Tiana, but I don't know, she's MIA and been MIA for a while. I don't know what's going on. I have to get in touch with her and see what's happening there. I can manage, you know, just a couple more subs coming in is great, because I like to have interaction with the people on here. People do ask questions. People do ask questions. They ask advice. If I can't, because I'm not a vet tech, I'm not a vet, I'm not an animal behavioralist or anything like that. I'm not even really experienced with cats. I've only kind of been doing this since 2020. So I'm good at advocacy. Advocacy, I know that. That's my wheelhouse. I've been doing that, but the cat piece is relatively new. So if I can just tell you what works for me and where I got the information, I can make suggestions, again, for what worked for me and try to help folks. And I do like that. And people will ask me, where did you get this product? I even had someone comment, your hair is so shiny. What products do you use? Okay, well, that's kind of random, but here you go. This is what I do. It's nothing. Actually, this really needs cut. I just don't have time. I just don't have time. If I jump and scream, it's because they like grab my ankles and with their little claws and it hurts, or they'll try to climb up my leg or do something crazy when it's least expected and it's startling. So now Elvis is laying on my feet. Okay. So, second part of that is I am trying to, or what I would like to do, and I'm not putting any pressure on her at all. I'm just throwing this out here to the community so that you might see this change. I have asked Kayla, who is a longtime volunteer of Feline Solutions. Feline Solutions is our local rescue that has really stepped up and helped the community since our York County SPCA has stepped back from helping cats, because they are now partner with Best Friends Animal Society, have gone no-kill. And by the way, for the person that left the nasty comment about me killing cats, you know, Timu Jackson Galaxy channel was something like Proud Boy Cat Daddy Cat Channel, whatever the hell your problem is. And he was going off about no kill. No kill doesn't mean that no animal is euthanized. You need to do your research. You obviously do not understand what a no-kill shelter is. You don't understand the concept of it, and you don't understand the devastation that they can cause in a community. So go get educated and then come back and try to talk to me. I don't discuss shit with stupid people that just talk out their butthole. Okay? That's it. Done. But I want to try to get, I've asked Kayla if she'd be interested in being a manager on this channel, because I know I can trust her. And as being a long-time volunteer with Feline Solutions, she's done all kinds of, she actually used to work at the York SPCA. She basically was a vet tech over there, did a lot of the euthanasias and things like that. So she's well versed in all of that type of information. She also has done plenty of trainings and reads and just keeps up to date on everything, looks at studies, has done studies. Kayla's a wealth of information. She's no nonsense. She's a lot like me. Just, you know, you get these crazy cat ladies together and look out. So I'd really would like to have her. She's, her personal life is very hectic right now. So I'm not sure if she's going to be able to, but she's going to see what she can do, or, yeah, she's going to let me know. So you might be seeing more of Kayla rather than just leaving the random comment here and there. So hopefully we'll get her in, because I would like to be able to highlight more of the Feline Solutions work and also put out their adoptable cats. I mean, I know not everybody that watches this is from York, Pennsylvania, but we have people. I mean, the person that adopted my foster cat last year, Valentino, although that person turned out to not be a very nice person in the end, they do seem to care about the cat and care for the cat, so that's all that matters. I mean, they can hate me all they want. They can hate Feline Solutions, whatever their issues are their issues, but they were about 3 hours away from me in another state. So, you know, it does happen. It does happen that people will come from other states, or even from other parts of Pennsylvania to get, ow! I warned you. Spring. The spring went by my foot. Instead of grabbing the spring, they grabbed my foot. So yeah, we're trying to get, so yeah, looking to try to get Kayla on here, and let's see, I'm going to lose my train of full thought with these guys. But this is probably like the only time I have to do this, because they're leaving tomorrow. I want to get this done. They're going to be if I do it later, they'll be in their crate screaming. So it doesn't really matter when I do it. They're going to be an interference. Doesn't matter. They're going to be an interruption. So, you know, covered the subs, covered Kayla. Oh, okay. The other thing is, we continue to have issues with harassment from 2 other cat content creators. Actually, there is a third, but that channel's relatively small, and so far they just like to talk out their butthole, and they don't even know what they're talking about. But there is that third channel, the Temu Jackson Galaxy, that I'm kind of watching to see if they start crap too. So here's the thing. Here's how I'm handling the situation. I'm not giving them energy. I'm not giving them airtime. I'm not dedicating any more videos to them. They can go fuck off. This is a channel about cats, about cat education, about cat advocacy. It is about helping each other with cat care, networking, support. That's what this channel is about. We're not engaging in the drama. We're not engaging in the fighting. We're not engaging in any of that, although they keep trying to start a war here. There's no war. They can go home, call it a day. I said my piece. I told this whole thing started because 2 of them have more cats than they're supposed to have. They got in trouble for it. I'm being blamed because, well, it's a long story, but I was involved with both of them and the reporting of the cats, not in the way that they like to spin it, especially the first one. The first one I have shown without any. Spring got caught in the crate slats. Okay. So the first channel, the only thing that I was trying to do was trying to mitigate a situation that was getting out of hand. I stupidly called animal control and got myself in the middle of it. There's videos on that. I'm not going over it anymore. I'm done. I know what I did, and what I did was not what they're claiming that I did. I'm tired of it. They need to let it go. I don't know if they're cat channels. I don't know why they're not doing content on cats instead of doing content on me and drama and trying to stir up problems. That particular person has tried to send people over here to take down this channel, telling them to come over here and false report the channel, and with the intent of taking it down. That's the kind of stuff we're dealing with. The second person that is currently harassing, it's gotten to the point where this person now is going after some of my longtime core subscribers, making very nasty comments about them, trying to shame them for supporting me, even going so far as to dox one of them by using her name and then using like her name before her username so that people know who she is and could possibly find her. This person does not use her real name for a reason. She wants privacy. That should be respected. This person needs to stop. So I'm not, as I said, I'm just saying this out here to everyone. I know the community doesn't want to hear this shit. I know this community because I've looked at the numbers. I've heard your comments. I listen to my community. If my community is telling me, Wanda, we don't want to hear the rants. We don't care about those people. We care about you. We care about the cats. We care about how can we care for the cats. That's what we care about. I'm listening to that. So I'm just putting this out here for everyone so that you understand. No more videos on it. No more discussion of it. Anything that needs to be addressed will be in the community tab. So if you don't have to look at it. You know, I will probably start putting like trigger warnings, whatever, so that people can just scroll on past it. Much easier than a video. And the other thing is, the other thing too is with YouTube, you only get like, well, you can do more than 3 videos a day, obviously, but only the first 3 videos that you do a day are the ones that get pushed out with notifications. So people say to me, why didn't you get notified? You went live or whatever. I didn't get notified. And I'm trying to explain, well, that's why, because I just did a impromptu live or video or a short because one of the cats did something funny and I just wanted to share it with the community. And I already had my 3 videos out for that day. So that's why, because after you put out 3 videos, YouTube doesn't push anymore after that. So that's why you're not getting notified, more than likely. And I'm not wasting one of my precious 3. I mean, I could do one after, but I'm just not subjecting my community to this bullshit anymore because it is just bullshit. It's stupid. It's just stupid. These people, they are unstable, unhinged, mentally ill. You know, there are a bunch of flying monkeys over there with the Wicked Witch. I watched Wicked last night. And I can tell you, what's it? Ifaba? Is that how you pronounce her name? She is much, much nicer than the real Wicked Witch on the other channel with the flying monkeys. One of which is also a loon. So there it is. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. You know, if you're interested in what's happening, community tab, I feel like I need to put this out here because what was said about my subscribers was really nasty, and I have screenshots of it. The video has since been taken down, but we have it anyway. We managed to. There was someone managed to download it for me before it went off, and we also have all the screenshots of all the nasty comments, so it's documented. So that's all that you guys need to know. I mean, we do document everything. Nasty comments that are left on here, I pretty much know when they're coming from the other channels. They're all screenshotted, documented, and then, you know, I do with them what I need to do with them. So I'm going to just leave that there. So let's go on to Nika. So Nika, aka Tulip. Nika is these kittens' mother. So for those of you who are new to the channel and don't know this story or haven't caught up, let me give you a quick little overview of what happened here. So I have a neighbor who basically throws away animals like I do Kleenex during allergy season. And they had this cat, which I thought was just a stray, because she would be coming to my, she would come to my feeding station, and I would see her, not see her, then I would see her, she'd be pregnant, and then before I could really do anything, she'd disappear, and then she'd be gone for like a month or two, and then she'd come back, and I'm like, this is weird, okay. And then, one day, I was actually coming back from the food pantry, and I'm coming up the front of the building, and this neighbor comes out, and she says, excuse me, have you seen my cat? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. What's your cat look like? Because, I'm the crazy cat lady. Everybody, they lose a cat, they figure I know where it is. I said, I don't know. I said, what's your cat look like? Well, it turned out that she had this male cat's neutered, male cat's like their indoor cat, their precious, precious baby. The husband opened the door, accidentally left the cat out. She was all upset, blah, blah, blah. So she showed me a picture, and I'm talking to her. And during the course of that conversation, she starts talking about this other cat. And like, she said, you've seen the cat in the driveway. I said, well, you mean Nika? And she's like, yeah, that's our cat. Different name. I'm not going to use the name. Different name. Okay. I said, why don't you get her? She's not spayed? No. So the conversation, I'm trying to keep the temper down, because this is just ridiculous. This cat's been pregnant I don't know how many times. But again, I really couldn't do much about it, because she'd be pregnant, and then I just would see her, not see her, see her, not see her. It was really it's hard to trap a cat when they're in and out like that. So turns out this cat, the story behind this cat, the story behind Nika, is that this cat and this as kittens, this cat and another cat. So this cat's a tabby, the other cat was a black cat. So those two showed up they just showed up on these people's doorstep. I just opened the door, and surprise, there's two kittens on your doorstep. I manage a colony, and I've never had just like two kittens on my doorstep. So I'm not really sure what that's about, but that was the way the story went. And then the story went on that the two kittens were brought in, the black kitten unalived somehow. They buried the black kitten in the backyard. The tabby kitten survived. The tabby kitten grew up, but the tabby kitten then just didn't want to be in anymore, so they threw the tabby kitten outside. She just didn't want to be inside. Like, okay, well, did you get her spayed? Oh, no, she's not spayed. Oh, okay. So basically, they were handling this is whenever the cat got pregnant, they would bring the cat in, or I think they would bring her in. Now I don't think they even bring her in. I think they just had her where I found her, which was in a little nest box under a crappy tarp amongst a bunch of garbage. And then she'd give birth, and then they would just, here, have a kitten. Dole out the kitten. Kayla's just sending me a message. I'm going to get to the news about Nika in a few. So I offered to get this cat. Well, first I told him, I said, you can go to the SP. Now, these people have no barrier to access, okay? They have functional vehicles. They both have good jobs. In our area, the York SPCA, although I'm not a fan, they do have a really good spay-neuter clinic. And for $20, you can, put the cat in the trap, take the cat to the clinic. They have walk-ins. You can take the cat in. The cat gets done. They keep the cat overnight, pick the cat up the next morning. Bing, bang, boom. Everything's, no more kittens. No more breeding. No more behavioral issues because they're intact. Great. $20. Spay, neuter, ear tip, and rabies shot for $20. So, used to be a better deal, but, new administration. Still, it's not bad. So, anyway, Oh, and you can rent a live trap for $60. Again, they have no barriers. The live trap would not be the cat. You could pick up the cat. I mean, I did this with one of my colony cats, Mushu. She's been around since she was a kitten, so she's socialized to me anyway. I can pick her up, I can carry her and everything. I can put her in a carrier. She's okay with me. It wouldn't be hard if you have a cat that you can actually pick up. You can easily stuff them into a live trap and take them to get them spayed or neutered. And you don't have to worry about the trap sitting outside and somebody picking it up and walking away with it, and then you have to eat that $60 deposit. So again, I know they have credit cards. I mean, no, there's no barriers for these people. Then I said, okay, well, we're going to do some trapping. You could take her. And it's like, oh, well, we'll pay for it. Okay. Well, of course, none of that ever happened. Cat still getting pregnant. I'm having, I'm low income myself. I don't have money to just go and spay and neuter every cat in the neighborhood, nor should I, because they're not my cats. And it's not my problem. I didn't make the problem. I shouldn't have to fix it by myself. I don't mind being part of the solution, but I shouldn't have to be the solution. Not everything should fall on my shoulders. That's just not right. And the SPCA needs to understand that it's not right to expect your low income and poor people to have the financial burden of caring for these cats and getting them spayed and neutered and feeding them and all this other stuff. That's just not okay. That's the way it is, but it's not okay. So I know someone from city council, talked to her about this, and she said, yes. She said, get her. I'll make sure. She said, I'll even pay for it. So went back to the owner, told him that. Good, great. Unfortunately, we didn't get her before she gave birth. So again, cat's over there in a little nest box of dirty blankets. I mean, that isn't even, you need to have straw in a nest box because blankets can suck the heat away from the cat. Cats can literally freeze on a blanket. They can freeze on a blanket. Do your research. Straw is what you need in any kind of cat shelter. Guys, so city council, her name's Elsbeth. Elsbeth said, we'll get it. Of course, we didn't get him in time. She ended up giving birth in a nest box under a dirty tarp amongst a bunch of trash. She had 6 kittens. The end of December, right before New Year's. Actually, it was like New Year's Eve because my friend came over to get me. I was going to go to her place and we were going to have New Year's Eve celebration with her. Ow! That's Diavel. He has his toy. And he's grabbing my leg. So, I went down. My friend was there. I went down to my friend. My other neighbor was down there, and my friend was like, Wanda, come over and look at the kittens. Look at the kittens. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. It's on here. You'll see. Poor Nika. She had these kittens. It was getting cold, and it was going to get colder. We were supposed to have a really severe cold snap over that weekend after New Year's, which temperatures were going down to like 12 degrees or so. It was going to be real, and we're going to have snow. And so I talked to my friend, or not my friend, my neighbor, downstairs neighbor, who was friendly with the people that had Nika. And I said, can you talk to them and ask them if I can take her? I can take her and I can take the kittens. So the original plan was to just to kind of leave them out there, let them grow up, get them spayed and neutered, leave them with the colony, and get her done, get the mom done. But then everything changed because of the cold. So I mean, and I know that sounds harsh to just leave them out there, but I didn't have like a rescue or anything lined up. So that was kind of like the best plan at the time. Of course, it's always better to not have them on the street. Ow! Maleficent. But it's hard. It's hard when you're managing these colonies. And resources are stretched to the limit. And shelters won't take the cats, and rescues are overflowing with them. And really the only way that some rescues like Feline Solutions will even help at this point is if you're willing to foster. So that's kind of where we all are with Maleficent. Okay. I knew this was going to be hard doing this with these kittens, but I'm doing my best. Yeah. So it's hard trying to rescue and to convince one to take all these cats in because there's so many of them and there's not enough fosters, which is why we need more fosters. Not enough fosters, not enough rescues. So many shelters are going quote unquote no kill, which means limited admission, which means they generally do not take cats anymore because cats, specifically stray cats, are the largest population of animals that are euthanized in a shelter. The way that a no-kill shelter works is these shelters have to keep their quote-unquote save rate high, like above 90%, I think it is. The only way they can do that is not to euthanize animals. Again, do you see where I'm going with this? The way you don't euthanize animals is to not admit the animals that are more likely to be euthanized in the first place. See where I'm going with this? That's why cats are being shit on, basically. You know, fuck the cats, keep them outside. We don't want them in the shelter because if they're in the shelter, then we might have to euthanize them, which means our save rate, oh my God, our save rate might drop. And if our save rate drops, guess what? We don't get our... That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but the ones that I've seen with Best Friends Animal Society, that's basically what's happening. And then there's the narrative spun of, oh, their cats are great outside. It's like that. They're fine. They not only survive, they thrive. Yeah, well, I have one over here. I have my croaky boy here, Jack. He can tell you about surviving and thriving outside. He survived, but he definitely wasn't thriving. He's in now. Now he's actually thriving. So, you know, they can stick that where the sun doesn't shine too. I don't think we should be encouraging people to keep cats on the street if they don't have to be on the street. I mean, there are some cases where it's better for them to be out if they were born outside, if that's all they know, if they're not socialized, there's, you know. But even then, I have cats. Moosh and Yum Yum were born outside. They're socialized. I guarantee you, give me a couple of weeks, I could turn them into house cats. I could. Without a doubt. There are plenty of cats out there that, you know, they're just looking, I'm like, oh my God, they're just, the problem is there's not enough resources, there's not enough time, there's not enough fosters, there's too many cats, and there has to be a triage system. That's the problem. You have to look at who needs the care the most urgently, like with Jack. Jack was a stray. He was I don't know how he ended on the street. He ended up on the street somehow. Obviously a stray, almost from the time that he started trusting me. He was trying to get into my apartment. He was showing all kinds of behavioral issues that I didn't know what it was. I thought he was unpredictable and he was kind of aggressive. And now I'm looking at it and going, holy shit, this cat was trying to say to me, hey human, I need help. And dumb human here didn't get it. Kayla taught me that. So thank you, Kayla, for educating me. And this is why you want to work with people that know what they're talking about. You want to work with people that are legitimate rescues, not people that are representing themselves. Oh, I'm a rescue. You want people that are legitimate rescues, that have good reputations, that will give you credible advice, and they know what they're talking about. You don't want somebody that's just coming out and going, I've been doing rescue for 8 years. I've spayed and neutered more cats than you could ever have done, and I've placed 5,000 of them. That person's probably lying to you. I'm just saying. I mean, if they're a legitimate rescue, then they're going to go through, then they are going to go through what they need to go through to make it legitimate. Just saying. So, I don't know what they're doing over there. They're going nuts. So, guys, let me check something. Try to supervise them while I'm talking. So, yeah, important, make sure your rescue's reputable. Make sure they have that 501c3. Make sure they have their licenses, their permits, whatever they need in your area. I don't know. But, kind of look and see what they're doing. And just beware. There are a lot of grifters out there. There are a lot of grifters and a lot of fakes. That, just because you have 40 plus cats roaming around your property doesn't mean you're a legitimate rescue. Just because you put up a couple of videos showing a cat in a live trap, showing a cat in a crate, showing a cat going to a vet doesn't mean you're a legitimate rescue. It doesn't mean that person isn't well-meaning. I don't want to say that. I'm not saying that, there aren't people out there, because there are people like me. I don't have a rescue, but I help with rescue. I try to word it that way. Like, I help with TNR. I help with rescue. I do manage a colony, but I help with these other things because I'm on the periphery. I'm not actually doing it. I'm not a licensed rescuer, but I am working through a licensed, whatever documentation Feline Solutions needs, they have. So I am working through a legitimate rescue. So going back to Mika kittens, I got the kittens, brought them in, didn't know what I was going to do with them, but I brought them in because I didn't want them to freeze. I didn't want them to unalive outside. I didn't want them to be little kitty sickles. And then Mama, we're just trying to figure out what are we going to do with Mama. And the plan for Mama was, we'll just get her. We'll get her and we will get her spayed and put her back. Because the story that they spun, that her owner spun, was that she didn't want to be inside, she wanted to be outside, she wasn't socialized or whatever. All of that was a bunch of shit. They lied. The reason that they had her outside is because they had that other cat in there. Something was going on with the litter boxes. They didn't have enough litter boxes, or the litter boxes weren't clean, or the male was dominating, whatever. I don't know what was going on. Probably also because she wasn't spayed. And if she's not spayed, even if a Tom is neutered, they're still going to try to, they still have that instinct to mate. So he might have been harassing her. Who knows what was going on. Anyway, she peed and pooped in the kitchen, and they kicked her ass out. I've seen her already sleeping on their front doorstep. I know this cat was not, I had a suspicion that there was something up with this cat. So, brought in the kittens. They're about 4.5 weeks old, not quite weaned, just almost, but just not quite there. Got that situated. Then we had to work up one mama. And after about a week or two, I guess, I had them in here for about 2 weeks, I think. And then I contacted Feline Solutions, and I always contact Kayla. I'm like, help. Help, Kayla. And Kayla's response is always the same. Go talk to Carol. Carol's the founder. Okay, so I go to Carol. Okay, we'll help you with this. So, took them to Kayla for an intake. They do their intakes at the local PetSmart every other week. Took the kittens over there. The day before, I get a text from Kayla. Kayla's like, if you can get mom, stuff her in a crate, bring her over here, or a carrier, bring her over here. We'll get her spayed, because we're not doing this again. Let's just get this done, because we don't want any more kittens. I mean, they're cute and everything. We love them, but yeah, we don't want more kittens. We have enough. There's not enough places for them now. Let's not do that. So, luckily, Mom showed up when I went down. My friend came and picked me up when I went down to take the kittens down to her vehicle. Nika was down at my station because she was like, at this point, she was coming to me for food. She was like looking at me, coming to me for food. And like, this is cool. I got her. I scruffed her, put her in feet first. I thought, okay, I hope she doesn't try to tear me apart here. Everything went smooth. Got her over there. Took her, gave her to Kayla. Kayla took her, and Kayla then they got her spayed. I think they got her spayed. They got her spayed because they got her TNR'd because they thought she was going to go back out. Then realized she was really friendly. And like, this was not like, this had been an owned cat, obviously. This was not just a random stray. So the next thing that happened was they gave her a test for feline leukemia, FIV, feline AIDS, and I guess heartworms included in that SNAP test. So a SNAP test, because I know a SNAP test is kind of like a pregnancy test or a blood glucose test or anything like that, where you have the little test thing and then you put a drop of blood and then there's some kind of identifying mark that shows whether it's negative or positive. That's what a SNAP test is. So a SNAP test was done on Nika, and Nika came up positive for feline leukemia, which means the kittens were probably all positive too. There was another setback. That was devastating because I didn't know a whole lot about it. I had a really wonderful person that emailed me that works with special needs cats, and she sent me a whole bunch of information. I tried to get myself as educated as quickly as possible. And we got the kittens tested. The kittens all came out negative. It was weird. I think that bothered Kayla enough that she did a second, because I had said to Kayla, I said, are you sure? Because I've heard that some of these tests are not always accurate. And I think the kittens coming out negative was enough to kind of make her wonder. So they got a higher quality SNAP test. Did Nika a second time? She came out negative. So Nika was now able to go up for adoption, which leads to my hopefully good news, fingers crossed here. There's an application that's been put in for Nika. The woman lost her cat the woman as on her walk, I guess she walks around the area every day. It sounds like she might be an older lady, but she does a walk and she was visiting Nika at the PetSmart. She's at PetSmart in one of the kennels. So she was visiting Nika every day, falling in love with her. She lost her cat, which was an older cat, about 9 months ago. She's by herself and she wants a companion. So she's put an app in for Nika. It sounds like a match made in heaven. They're just waiting for the vet records and all that to come back. And, you know, fingers crossed, Nika's going to have a home. So happy ending for her, hopefully. I'm so happy that I was able to help get her off the street. And I'm so grateful to Feline Solutions, Carol Molina, who is the founder, and Kayla Moore, who is the, you know, she's like, I don't want to say like she's the superstar volunteer, because there's so many superstar volunteers in Feline Solutions. That's not really fair to everybody else. But Kayla does really, I mean, all of them I think go above and beyond. Kayla does a lot of, she's probably almost like one of Carol's assistants, because there are volunteers that work very closely with Carol, and Kayla does that. So I don't know if it's really fair to say that she's a rock star, definitely. And but all the people that are involved in Feline Solutions, they are proof positive that heroes don't always wear capes. So thank you so much to them. Now for the little beasties here, they are at the point where they can be spayed and neutered. At first, Kayla was we were going to like do a couple at a time, and we were going to coordinate like pickups and bring backs, and then Kayla had a isolation room freed up in her house. So she said she can take them. Now, of course, Maleficent's staying here, because Maleficent's our girl. She's going to stay here. But she's also going to go through, they work with a yes, Jack, I know, Jack, I know. Thank you for reminding me about that. I know, Jack's talking. Jack's very talkative. I'm hoping that, well, Jack has something to say, obviously. Jack, you have something to say? You do? You like Feline Solutions too? You're grateful for Feline Solutions? You are? How about Cat Mama? Cat Mama's pretty special too, isn't she? Cat Mama is one of our longtime subscribers, and she has been amazing with support for Jack. I wouldn't have been able, I mean, seriously, I wouldn't have been able to bring him in and work with him, and Feline Solutions wouldn't have been able really to help as much either if it weren't for Cat Mama and her constant support of this boy. I mean, she's donated food and supplements. She's contacted me and even asked me, do you need food for him? Do you need pee pads? What do you need? Contacted Feline Solutions, donated to Feline Solutions. So yeah, Cat Mama's another hero that doesn't wear a cape. So Cat Mama will always have a home here, and she will always be loved here. And Jack is very grateful to everyone. Aren't you, Jack? Jack looks sleepy. Are you going to take a nap, boy? Huh? He's our croaky boy. He's our croaky boy, aren't you? Okay, so they're going to go tomorrow. And they're going to go to Kayla, and Kayla has an isolation room free where they will stay until everybody gets spayed and neutered and recovered, and then they will be up for adoption. So, and I'm going to miss them very much. And this is the hard part of fostering. You know when you take them in, and this is what I want. I mean, I've had so many people say to me, Wanda, you're amazing. I couldn't do this. I couldn't foster. I just couldn't because I couldn't let them go. You have no choice. You have to keep in mind, and this is what I want to impress, because I want to talk quickly about fostering. It's so important. You literally save lives by fostering. And I know it's hard, and I know it's heartbreaking and gut-wrenching and so emotional when you have to let them go. But if you weren't there for them, if I hadn't taken them in, they'd still be out there or they would not be alive. You literally save lives by fostering. You keep cats, you can get cats off of the street that otherwise would have to stay there, like Jack. You help rescues, small rescues like Feline Solutions, be able to help more cats, because without their fosters, they're nothing. They can't do anything. Carol only has so much space. Kayla only has so much space. They need to have that network of fosters. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's heartbreaking. Yes, it's frustrating. And sometimes it's angering. And there's been times where I've literally been on the floor almost in tears because I'm so exhausted and I'm so frustrated. And, I'm dealing with I have fibromyalgia and I have mental health issues. So I'm dealing with my own shit. And then, I just get everybody taken care of. It's late at night. I get everybody taken care of. I'm ready to turn the light out, and somebody goes, bleh! And it's everywhere. And it's on the other kittens. And I'm looking at this and go, I just cleaned everything. I just cleaned it. Now I have to get everybody out. I have to wash them off. I have to do... It's hard. It's hard. It is hard fostering. But it's also incredibly rewarding. I've got to see these little guys grow up. I got to see them come from little wobbly 4-week-old fluff balls, like boop, 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 to now they are everywhere. Oh, hi, Bubby. Rogue's at my feet. What's the matter, bud? I'll feed you in a few minutes. Yeah, you too, Jack. Yeah, you were fed. It's hard. And it can be expensive, time-wise and money-wise, because not all rescues can give you everything that you need all the time. That's why I know Cat Mama's she'll be emailing me later and going, Wanda, I appreciate it, but I really don't feel like I need to have a shout out. But yes, you do, Cat Mama, you do. You need to have a shout out. You need to have a shout out because it's everybody working together. You have to have a community working together to save these cats. In that way, Kayla has a really cool post, I don't know, somewhere, a comment somewhere where she talks about why she doesn't like the term community cats. But I think in this respect, it's a perfect term because it does take a community to save these cats. It does. Even my neighbor downstairs, she was a part of it. She facilitated me being able to get them. Me bringing them in, being willing to keep them here and everything. Kayla helping. What is going on? Hang on. I think Jesse's got trash. Okay, Trash Man's at it again. Where did you find that? He found another one of my lemon cake wrappers. Do you see him? He's a trash man. Kayla has to put on his adoption card. One of my subscribers, Catitude, said that kitten needs to come with something on his adoption card that says comes with a locking trash can. What's the matter, Rogue? They're crazy, aren't they? Rogue's like, I'm so done with this, Mom. Please don't bring any more kittens home. No more kittens. No more kittens. No more. So it does take, it does take a community. It takes a community to take care of these, to save these cats, to care for these cats. And, it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. Rescue is hard no matter where you're at in the rescue stage, or what your place is in rescue. rather you're the founder of a nonprofit, or you're a volunteer, or you're a foster, whoever, whatever you're doing with rescue, it's hard. And that's why, I had someone say to me, I had someone leave a comment. I mean, and again, another great subscriber comes from a place of caring. And the comment was, why do you care so much, Wanda, about what people think? And the reason that I care is because when people come on and leave ignorant comments, when they're saying things like, well, if I ever caged a kitten like that, my wife would have a fit. Well, I don't, considering who your wife is, I don't really care. That comment came actually from the husband of, from the other channel. Because apparently, even though these people profess to care so much about cats, they spend an inordinate amount of time over here changing usernames just so they can leave mean-spirited comments, making fun of us, calling me an abuser, questioning what I do with the cats. They spend an inordinate amount of time doing that kind of thing, engaging in drama, engaging in ignorant shit that no one really cares about, only just to get their comments deleted and themselves hidden over and over and over again, because that's what will happen. And it's disrespectful to people like myself, like Cat Mama, like Kayla, anyone who really truly cares about cats. Because honestly, I don't think they do care about cats, because they've been proven, they've proven to me over and over again, when you put so much focus on hating another channel that's just trying to help cats, when you can't own your mistakes and be an adult and put your big girl pants on or big boy pants on and say, hey, you know what? I messed up. Maybe I need to reevaluate my life choices. If you can't do that, that shows to me that you're an emotionally stunted person. You're emotionally immature. And I don't want you here. And I'm not going to allow your stupid comments to be on this channel either, disrespecting everyone who gives a shit and who tries and who busts their ass and who has been up at night crying or exhausted or whatever, because it's hard. It's hard. But I will tell you this, it's also incredibly rewarding. I can't tell you right now, I'm all over the place emotionally right now. I'm going to miss them, but I'm also incredibly relieved, because now I can kind of get my kitchen back. It's warm enough in the back room now that I can clear a space and I can put Jack back there. He can move into the large crate. The small crate I'll keep up for Maleficent, so that when I can't supervise her, because she's still little, and I don't want her running loose when I sleep, and I'm not there to watch the interaction between her and the big cats, because she could get hurt. So she's going to be, for her safety, she's going to be confined at night. Maybe I'll bring her back into my bedroom now that it's just her, and keep her confined in the crate back there so that she's not alone. But, she'll still be confined. And if people have a problem with that, maybe this isn't the channel for you. So, I just want to thank everyone that supported us every step of the way here. It doesn't matter how you supported. It doesn't matter if you sent donations to PayPal so I could get litter and food, or stuff off of Amazon, or you subscribed, liked, left a nice comment, left an encouraging comment, supported, shared, whatever you did. Jesse's great. He has a thing about trash. He loves trash. I got to tell Kayla she needs to have a trash can for him. I'm going to miss him. He was the runt. He was the runt. And I didn't know if he was going to survive. Obviously he did. And he is a big personality. Diavel is sweet. He's high energy, but he's sweet. He's a cuddler. Elvis is the shy boy. He loved me. He was, I have videos of him. For some reason, he liked the song, the Elvis song, Wise Men Say, you know, only fools rush in. I can't help falling in love with you. That was his, I would sing that to him and he would. And it was funny because I was just here. It was playing on a video or something. I was singing along with it. I looked over and his eyes were, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then we have beautiful little Aurora, who is sweet and looks a lot like her mother. And Maleficent, who is going to stay here with us because there's something special about her. I'm not sure. As she grows, we're going to see her personality, but there's something special about that little girl. And I'm a pretty good judge of character. That's why Boo is in here, because when I first saw Boo, I'm like, yeah, that kitten's coming with me. I don't know, there's just something about him. I have to have him. Who's down there? Who's down there? Maleficent. Maleficent. Oh, you're not Maleficent. You're Jack. Jack. You want to come out and say hi to everybody? You just did. Come here.
Here, Jack. Oh, come here, Jack.
Oh, here, let me get Jack. Let me get Jack here. You say hi, Jack? There's Jack. Say hi, Jack. Jack's like, huh, never did this before.